The papyrus, put it on my table every month. I don't wanna be sad. Don't even try to hide it. No, I don't wanna lose it. And you see how it is, it's so inviting. The papyrus, we're all so alive. The papyrus.
We bring you the Papyrus TV News Update. You're welcome. The headlines. National Assembly backs Tinubu's state of emergency in Rivers. Senate sets up joint committee to oversee Rivers State. Opposition leaders reject Tinubu's emergency rule in Rivers. Oyo court dismisses case against Queen Naomi over Ibadan stampede. NJC denies ordering Nnamdi Kanu's release. NACA, no shortage of antiretroviral drugs in Nigeria. Nigerian troops arrest terrorists, all thieves and gun runner. The details. Both chambers of the National Assembly have unanimously approved the state of emergency declared on Rivers State by President Bola Tinubu. The decision taken during separate sessions in the House of Representatives and the Senate aims to restore peace and stability in the crisis-hit state. The House of Representatives gave its approval through a voice vote with 243 members in attendance. However, the lawmakers introduced a key amendment mandating that the appointed sole administrator report directly to the National Assembly rather than the Federal Executive Council (FEC). This amendment, they argued, aligns with Section 11, subsection 4 of the 1999 Constitution. In the Senate, the approval was granted after a closed-door session, relying on Section 60, 305(2) of the Constitution and parts of its standing rules. The upper chamber emphasized that the emergency rule should not last beyond 6 months and urged President Tinubu to review and terminate it at any appropriate time before then if stability is restored. Continuing, the Nigerian Senate has approved the creation of a joint ad hoc committee to oversee the administration of Rivers State following President Bola Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency. The decision was reached after a closed-door session on Thursday, 19th March, where lawmakers debated the worsening political crisis in the state. Senate President Godswill Akpabio, while reading the resolutions, stated that the Senate mandates the President to review or terminate the state of emergency at any given time, but not later than 6 months. Citing Section 11, subsection 4 of the 1999 Constitution, the Senate resolved to exercise its authority by establishing an oversight committee to supervise governance in Rivers State. Akpabio further announced that a separate reconciliation panel made up of respected national figures would be formed to mediate the ongoing power struggle between warring political factions in the state. The crisis in Rivers State stems from the protracted feud between Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his predecessor, now Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. The situation escalated with recent confrontations in the state legislature, leading to Tinubu's emergency proclamation. Following the National Assembly's approval, Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, retired, has officially taken over as the sole administrator of Rivers State. On Thursday, he held a closed-door meeting with top security officials and federal government representatives. With the Senate's resolution, the federal government now has direct control over the state, sidelining local governance structures for the duration of the emergency rule. Meanwhile, prominent opposition leaders, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Labour Party's Peter Obi, and former Kaduna State Governor Nasiru El-Rufai, have strongly rejected President Bola Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State, calling for its immediate revocation. At a press conference in Abuja on Thursday, 19th March, Abubakar described the emergency declaration as unconstitutional, arguing that the president does not have the authority to suspend elected officials. He insisted that all parties should respect the Supreme Court's judgment and allow Governor Siminalayi Fubara to continue governing the state. While acknowledging that Section 305 of the Constitution permits the president to declare an emergency in cases of extreme security threats, Abubakar argued that it does not override the democratic mandate of elected officials. Even if the emergency rule was valid, it would require a two-thirds majority approval from all members of the National Assembly, he added. Former Kaduna Governor Nasiru El-Rufai also expressed hope that lawmakers would reject the proclamation, while Peter Obi, represented by his spokesperson, Tanko Yunusa, condemned the move as a dangerous precedent for Nigerian democracy. The House of Representatives had earlier approved Tinubu'S emergency declaration, clearing the way for the suspension of Governor Fubara. Meanwhile, Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, retired, the newly appointed sole administrator of Rivers State, has begun holding high-level security meetings in preparation for the enforcement of emergency rule. As tensions rise, opposition parties have vowed to challenge the decision through legal and political means, raising concerns about the potential long-term implications of the federal government's intervention in Rivers State. Moving on, an Oyo State High Court in Ibadan has struck out the case against Queen Naomi Shilekun-Olami, prominent broadcaster Oriyomi Hamzat, and Islamic high school principal Abdullahi Fasasi over the December 2024 stampede that claimed 35 children's lives. Delivering the ruling on Thursday, 19th of March, Justice B.K. Olawoyin of Court 8, Ring Road, Ibadan, stated that convicting the defendants will discourage well-meaning individuals from engaging in humanitarian activities. The defendants had faced charges of conspiracy, acceleration of death, negligent acts causing harm, and failure to provide adequate security and medical facilities during the ill-fated Christmas Fun Fair held on December 18, 2024. Speaking to journalists after the verdict, Oriyomi Hamzat praised the court's decision and reaffirmed his commitment to humanitarian work. However, he vowed never to collaborate with any external organization for similar events in the future, citing the tragic incident as a lesson learned. In another development, the National Judicial Council (NJC) has dismissed reports claiming that the Chief Justice of Nigeria (CJN), Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, ordered the release of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra (IPOB), Nnamdi Kanu. Kanu, who has been in the custody of the Department of State Services (DSS) since 2021, is facing charges of treasonable felony. He was arrested in Kenya and extradited to Nigeria after fleeing the country in 2017. His trial has since gone through multiple legal proceedings, reaching the Supreme Court before being returned to the Federal High Court in Abuja. As this case resumes before Justice James Omotosho, social media reports falsely claimed that the CJN had directed his release and issued a formal apology to the Kenyan government regarding his arrest. In a statement issued by NJC spokesperson Mrs. Kemi Babalola Ogedengbe, the council categorically denied the allegations, stating, "The Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria never presided over any case involving Kanu at the Supreme Court and never made any pronouncement ordering his release. There is no official communication to the Kenya government or its High Commission on this matter." The NJC urged the public to disregard the false reports and warned against the spread of misinformation. Meanwhile, Kanu's legal team continues to push for his release, citing concerns over his health and the legality of his extradition. Furthermore, the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, has reassured Nigerians that there is no shortage of antiretroviral drugs in the country, dispelling fears following a recent World Health Organization (WHO) briefing. In a statement released Thursday, NACA emphasized that the federal government has taken proactive steps to secure a steady supply of HIV medication. The agency pointed to recent government interventions, including a $1.07 billion allocation for healthcare sector reforms under the HOPE program, 4.8 billion naira set aside specifically for HIV treatment, and an additional 300 billion naira approved by the Senate for the 2025 health budget. NACA Director General Dr. Temitope Ilori also addressed concerns over the U.S. government's temporary pause on aid, stating that Nigeria is strengthening local resource mobilization to ensure sustainability in HIV treatment programs. She assured the public that there is no immediate stop to services for HIV treatment, testing, or prevention, and that treatment centers and pharmacies remain well stocked with antiretroviral drugs. NACA reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring uninterrupted access to HIV/AIDS prevention and treatment services across Nigeria. Conclusively, Nigerian security forces have apprehended 2 wanted terrorists and a notorious gun runner, Shehu Bagiwaye, in separate operations in Sokoto and Zamfara states. The Defense Headquarters confirmed the arrests in a media briefing by the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Kange, on Thursday. Additionally, 75 rehabilitated terrorists, including men, women, and children, were handed over to the Borno state government. Troops also neutralized scores of terrorists in various operations across the country. Between March 10 and 20, security forces arrested 23 suspected oil thieves and recovered stolen crude oil and petroleum products worth over 461 million naira. During the operations, troops discovered and destroyed illegal refining sites, crude oil cooking ovens, and storage pits used for illicit activities. The security forces also recovered a cache of weapons including AK-47 rifles, locally fabricated guns, RPG tubes, and various types of ammunition. Major General Kange emphasized that security forces remain committed to eliminating terrorist threats and curbing economic sabotage across the country.
The papyrus, hoodie on my table, every